Wife passed away in a car crash 10 months after our son was born, so I raised him alone. Then my new GF met him and my sister caught her secretly teaching him to call her mommy behind my back even though I told her not to. I was married to the most amazing woman 6 years ago. We had been dating for 2 years before we got married. She got pregnant after graduating from college. We were both happy, this is what we had wanted. Our son was born. Life was awesome. 10 months after his birth, while on a trip to get some stuff for the house, her car collided with 2 others. Nothing could be done. Her ribs broke inwards, her lungs were crushed. She died by the time the ambulance came. Life was a bitch. Suddenly the whole world had collapsed on me. I was in shock, the therapy didn't help. The only thing that kept me going was my son. He was barely 10 months old, but he lived. I forgot about everything else in life and functioned just as a father. I didn't go out, I ignored my friends, killed my social life altogether. Still, I was proud of what I had accomplished as a single father. Sure, there were a few scares here and there, but overall it was great. My son was healthy and happy. Money was never a problem for me. It still hurt like a bitch inside. I literally felt no temptation to meet anybody else. I was still recovering from it all, I guess. Then, I started going out a little. My sister offered to take care of my son. She was great with him, so I felt comfortable. I got back in touch with my friends. I still retained my good physique. There wasn't much to do at home, so I'd just work out. I had started taking care of myself too. I got used a little to the female attention. After blowing off the initial 4 to 5 dates, I know it's bad but I just couldn't go ahead with them then, I started meeting other women. I'd just have casual dates with these women, but I'd turn them down before anything physical happened. It took me a long time to even kiss a girl again. On this cycle, I met Natalie, random alias here. She was an exceptionally beautiful girl who worked in my industry, loved that I was a single father and sympathized with my loss. She was a great person and had an awesome personality. I found something special about her, so I stuck with her. It took us almost a month to have sex, but she was very patient with me. I had told her up front that meeting my son is not something that is happening very soon. She understood. We had a great relationship. She complained a few times about me spending a lot of time with my son and barely enough with her, but we made it work after talking about the issue. She only met my son for the first time 2 months ago. I brought her along when we were at the park. She said hi and he just looked up and sorta laughed. He's 4 and he's able to articulate properly, at least small words and greetings, so I told him to say hello. He said that and then the attention was back to the racket and the ball. She was clearly liked him. I know she wasn't feigning interest because even when I went a bit away and was busy with something else, she was trying to play with him and interact with him a lot. That was supposed to be a happy moment, but seeing him with her reminded me of my wife and it hurt like a bitch again. But I got over it. So I gradually increased their time together. We still met outside most of the time and not that much inside. We spent the daytime at her place and late night she would come over to mine when my son was asleep. After a point I felt a little comfortable leaving them alone together. So this week my sister was visiting in town. My son absolutely adores her. She was his first female contact. I had to leave, take an overnight flight to get some work stuff sorted out, so she stayed at my place. Natalie calls me in the morning and tells me that she wants to visit my son. She's been visiting him a lot, so I think it's okay. When I come back, this is what my sister worriedly tells me: Natalie came around in the morning. She spent around an hour with my son and my sister. They're good friends and get along very well. So my sister got up to make something for them and went into the kitchen, while Natalie and my son were in the living room. He was on the floor playing with his toys, I guess. As soon as my sister goes into the kitchen, Natalie picks up my son onto her lap. My sister tells me that she heard her trying to get him to call her mommy. He usually calls her by a shortened version of her name, which also makes him giggle for some reason.
So he said that and he giggled. My sister leant to see what they were doing, and according to her, my girlfriend was saying to him, no, not the name that my son has for her, M-O-M-M-Y, and repeating that again till my son said it.
Then she kept on saying, I'm your mommy, mommy, and more like that. My sister was alarmed but didn't say anything. He's done that with her too, but she always brought up a picture of his mother to show him. So he stopped calling her that. I have always told him that the angel in the picture is mommy. It took him time, but he stopped calling anyone else mommy. I had told my girlfriend about this before and she had agreed. I had told her that it was important to me that my son know who his real mother was. She said she understood. And now here I am. Angry, frustrated, enraged, and feeling a bit betrayed. I don't know how long this has been going on. I haven't said anything about it to her. She knows I'm pissed about something. We have our 1 year together completing in 20 days. I had big plans for that. Now, I don't know what to do. You guys got any ideas? Edit 1. Guys, this is not about me moving on from my wife. This is about my son's mother. That's all. Edit 2. I'll talk to her about this. I don't want to break up, but I do want her to know that she has fucked up colossally and that this will set back our relationship. I'll try and be delicate. Also, most replies now are negative and aggressive, so I'll hop off Reddit. So, no point posting anymore. There are other people who need your advice. Thanks for the advice you have given me. I promise I will update. Comments where Op has replied. Comment 1. Have you two talked about having more children? Because I feel like Natalie really wants to be a mom. Confront her about this and ask her why she's insistent on your son calling her mommy. Oop, she wants children but wants to finish grad school first. I had told her very seriously about how I really want him to know who his real mother is and that there will be no substitute for her. Not sure how I confront her about the one boundary that I was dead serious about, that she ended up breaking. I know that this isn't coming across as a very serious problem to others, but this was one thing I was really scared about, and it's a terrible betrayal on her front. I'll just end up screaming my head off. I'm really pissed by her doing what she did, and that too behind my back. Comment 2. Try to talk to her about it calmly. Ask her if it's true. And explain again to her that you would like for her to be a very important part of his life, but you really don't want him to call her mommy. Do you think she did it for a bad reason, or do you think she was just momentarily misguided in her actions because she cares about you both so much? If you address this with her by attacking her and telling her what her place is, I think it's the end. If you keep it calm and reassure her that she too had an important place in your life, but you feel you owe this one thing to his mother, she will very likely get on your side about it and never do it again. Oop, I'm mad because it was a line crossed. It may have happened before when she was alone too. It is a huge breach of my trust. We agreed on this beforehand. And now she goes and does this behind my back. Her saying to my son I'm your mommy, that hurt me a lot. Now, I feel I can't trust her with my son alone. Comment 3. I don't think you should be together. Nowhere in your text does it say that you love her or that you decisively want her in your life. You still love your wife and she's just sort of a pleasant substitute. I'm sure you like her and you care about her, but until you let go of your wife, you'll be hurting her and your son eventually. Can you give her 100%? If not, you know what you have to do. You said about your wife the most amazing woman in the world. You didn't describe Natalie anywhere near that. Sorry, I usually support people trying to work things out, but in your case I really don't see it. Don't force yourself to be with someone in the future either. You will feel when your mind and soul are ready, and that you will start looking at women differently, with more than rational and analytical interest. Oop, I want to move on with my life. We have a great relationship. I had something really monumental planned for us in our 1-year anniversary. In the light of what has happened, can you really blame me for not posting my love for her all over the text? I'm mad at her right now and am feeling betrayed. After what she did, I'm not in the correct mindset to call her the most amazing woman. I will never be able to completely forget me wife. Why? Because I have my son with me. He was our son and he will always be a living reminder of my wife. I was young and that affected me deeply. Update 1. Hey guys. Just thought I'd quickly update you on what happened between my girlfriend and me. Basically, I talked to her. She did agree that this had indeed happened. So, she didn't deny it. That was a good thing. I asked her why she did it. She gave the reason that she always felt like an extra in my life. She thought that we could be a closer if we tried to be family. I explained to her, in a calm, composed manner, that we can't just pretend to be a family. And that her trying to make a permanent bond with my 4-year-old son whom she'd known only for 2 months wasn't quite the way to do it. She cried and apologized. Nevertheless, this was a huge setback in our relationship. It's difficult to look at things the same way after what happened. Our big anniversary surprise is cancelled. I'll make up for it sometime later. We are still dating, but she isn't going to meet my son anytime soon. This meant that we'd be spending less nights together, but she understood. I'm also going to see a child therapist to get this mommy thing sorted out once and for all so that my son isn't emotionally affected. Edit, for those of you saying that what she did was 100% right, it wasn't. My girlfriend and I are dating. She has known my son only for 2 months. If a mommy bond were to form right now and we were to break up, it'll affect my 4-year-old too. That'll have to wait for marriage, which honestly is something I have mentally pushed back for now. It'll take time to get the trust back with her. Update 2. I know all of you guys would be expecting a wonderful update with all of us becoming one big happy family. Sorry, but I got bitch slapped by life. Since a couple of weeks ago, she kept pushing me again and again over visiting my son. I told her no firmly, but she kept on being passive aggressive. All I wanted was a little more time, but she pushed me to a limit. She said that my son was missing her, he was not, and that I'm doing him a disservice by keeping her out of his life, and that I'm a horrible parent and I can't raise my son alone. We had a big fight over it, and we broke up. She broke down and crawled back and apologized, but things were never going to be the same. Life fucking sucks. Update 3. Hello everyone. Almost a year ago, I came here to talk about my life going upside down. I lost a great girlfriend, someone I thought I could finally trust and allow into my son's life. That did not go well. Anyway, that time of my life was very difficult, but I really got some great perspective from the people on here, so I just wanted to thank you all once again. I feel like I'm in a really good position in my life right now and everything feels awesome. I've put all the pieces together and my son and I are really happy. He's doing great and is healthy. So, yeah, this was more of a thank you, rather than update, but I really mean it. I was really confused and some of the advice I got on here was instrumental in sorting that mess out. Thanks Reddit. Take care. Next story. Girlfriend who's getting divorced told me she's taking her ex-husband to her work Christmas party instead of me, because nobody at work knows about us and she wants things to look normal, then called me jealous when I said I was hurt. I, 35M, have been with my GF, 44F, for 9 months. When we met she was open about the fact that she had fully separated from her ex and that they would be starting official divorce proceedings. Those started around 1 month ago and it's basically in the early stages. Yesterday we were talking about work Christmas parties and she told me her workplace are currently running a poll where the options were, go alone, go with your partner, or say you're not going. When I asked what she was thinking of doing, she said she needed to talk to her ex-husband about it because she was going to take him if that option won because she didn't want to go and sit alone while everyone else was there with their spouses. Obviously I reacted pretty badly to this. She said she couldn't bring me because nobody there knew about me/us. She had started her job about 3 months before we met and everyone there was basically under the impression that she was still married as that's how things had been when she joined, and she didn't like lots of people knowing her business, separating, divorce, etc., so she just went along with it. She said that bringing me would therefore be weird and she temporarily wanted everything to still look normal by bringing him. I questioned why she would need to go and pretend to essentially strangers. She could easily just go on her own instead and she told me I didn't understand how difficult it was for her. She told me I was making it all about me by asking to be prioritized. In my eyes it was just consideration, that I was acting irrational and being jealous and that she didn't have to run any of her decisions by me. She then started crying, hung up on me and texted me to say she wanted space for a few hours, but she hasn't been in touch since and that was 24 hours ago. I haven't reached out because I feel I haven't done anything wrong. I feel really horrible about her wanting to take him along so easily because it feels like she has not considered my feelings about it. We didn't have a conversation about it, she just told me, and so to me it feels a little disrespectful to me and our relationship. I know we've not been together long either, so maybe I have no right to be involved in her decisions, but I would expect to at least have a convo about that because that decision does directly affect us. I also don't understand why she needs to go and pretend to people she doesn't really know and why she wouldn't have just been able to take that opportunity to explain, but I don't know if I am just being selfish like she said. Aita? I've never been married, so I don't know if I have just majorly downplayed everything and been inconsiderate. Honestly appreciate everyone's advice and opinions. Comments where Op has replied. Comment 1. NTA. This is a massive red flag. You're worried about reacting badly, but the real problem is that 9 months into a relationship, she is actively choosing to prioritize the appearance of an intact marriage over publicly acknowledging her actual relationship with you. She isn't worried about people knowing her business, she's worried about admitting she has moved on before the divorce is final, which suggests she is keeping open the option of reconciliation. The excuse that it would be weird to bring you but normal to bring the man she is divorcing is absurd and deeply disrespectful to you. Demand honesty and transparency, or walk away, because right now, you are her secret, and the ex is her preferred public face. Oop, I've read this over and over again because it articulates and validates so much of my thinking. That whole thing about actively prioritizing an appearance of an intact marriage is what felt so ironic and also uncomfortable when she told me I was being selfish for demanding, which I wasn't, to be prioritized. Thank you for this comment. Oop responds and clarifies the timeline of his relationship and how long the GF had the job before meeting Oop. Oop, glad you've brought this up because TBH I can't answer this either now I think about it. From what she told me the relationship had been dead a good year before they separated. She started the job in October and they had separated before we began in Jan. So I guess maybe she talked about him in the crossover? Edited for clarity as I got confused with when she moved into her own place, which was March. Comment 2. Similar situation for me. However, I'm the one that has to attend the Christmas party. My ex and I are close to finalizing the divorce and I have found a new lady in my life. I am higher up at work and it's important I attend these events, but no one knows my personal life. That being said, taking my ex has never crossed my mind. I am either going alone or I'm not going. This is all new and I will definitely take my girlfriend next year, but not now, too soon. If the thought of taking my ex crossed my mind, for image reasons, I would 100% talk to my new partner before making a decision. But honestly, that's just not an option or consideration. Good luck. Sorry mate. Oop, man, thank you for this. I was hoping someone would drop in who had lived it or from the other side. You to know how much this helps because I put myself in her shoes and like you did, I would have either gone alone and made an excuse if people asked where my O was, or I'd have just not gone. Nobody is forcing you into taking them. And yeah, like you, if I had to, I would have asked my partner first and made sure they were comfortable or okay with it. She did zero of this. This has made my mind up. Thank you so much, best of luck to you and your new lady. Update. Firstly, I want to thank everyone for their responses. I never expected to get so many and I read all of them. Yeah, even the painful ones. There were some great pieces of advice, perspective and wisdom, so I really appreciate everyone's comments. Second, there were a lot of repeating questions that I didn't answer in the post because it all moved way too quick, so I wanted to answer those now in case those commenters were still wondering. 1. Who filed and did I definitely know they were divorcing? My ex, GF, had always made out that she had begun proceedings. Honestly, I don't know for definite that they are, but she did have a few meetings with a lawyer when I was with her and she'd moved into her own place in March, so to me all the signs pointed that way, but of course it may not have been the truth. 2. Why would her ex, not ex, husband agree to go? This is a solid question, and if I'm honest from what she told me about him, I genuinely don't think he would have. One of the reasons she gave for their marriage collapsing was that he became more antisocial and introverted and stopped wanting to go anywhere and do anything with her. I think that's why it felt worse, because if she was telling the truth about him, she was willing to take someone who had previously on multiple occasions said he didn't want to go and do things. If I'm honest on reflection, I think that this is an example of her refusing to face reality and clinging on to her old identity. Thank you so much to the commenters who gave me this insight. She just thought he'd agree because previously he probably always begrudgingly has, and she hadn't appreciated or logically thought about the weight of what she would be asking. If it was me, I certainly would have said no like everyone else said they would too. So on to the update, we split up. Thanks to all the perspectives here, I text her to say that I hoped she was okay and that the space had given me time to reflect on the situation. I explained that I could see things from her perspective and what her intentions might have been, but that I was hurt that she hadn't felt she could communicate that with me first, as if she had, the outcome might have been different and we could have worked something out. However, I felt her behavior in calling me selfish and the not running decisions by me etc. was disrespectful and inconsiderate, and that was now my major problem in moving forward with the relationship. She replied to say that if I was going to just bring another source of pain and stress to her life, then I may as well go, because I was still making the whole thing about me and my feelings and not appreciating her not breaking apart at the seams while her life did, so she'd be taking more space until I decided what I wanted. Thanks to all of you, I realized how invalidating and again, manipulative that was, so I told her we'd make the space permanent and wished her all the best. Her response was just okay and asking if she could still use my Netflix password. So, I changed it. Then she texted again a little while later asking why I'd changed it and could I put it back because it had locked her out of a show she was watching. So I had a good laugh to myself about the irony of decision making without running it by her, and didn't respond. On to better things and a definite lesson learned for the future in seeing the red flags. I also just wanted to thank the commenters who have lived it and shared their experiences. It did make it easier to understand what her motivations/intentions might have been for carrying on as normal. As I said in a previous comment, she had had a bad experience with a previous job and was out of work for some time in between. I also knew she was nervy about this one as it was beginning to ramp up. I can see why she may have obfuscated the truth so that her employers didn't think she had any personal distractions, which might have stopped her being at her sharpest. Where we live, you need 2 years to be safe from being fired, and she was only a year in. I can totally get why someone suddenly on their own with individual finances, plus lawyer fees and divorce settlement, if true, fees, would not want to risk their income suddenly being shut off or being back out of work for a long period. Having said that, I also agree with everyone that there's a difference between obfuscating the truth and showing up with your ex and essentially playing pretend when there was the option of going alone and just making an excuse for them. Though I guess I can also see why maybe that would feel awkward or uncomfortable being surrounded by others. End of the day, if she had come to me and explained, maybe we could have worked it out. However, she didn't, and everyone was right that her behavior and attitude towards me/the situation was incredibly disrespectful and problematic in the end. Once again, a massive thanks to this community.